Hi, I'm Russell Schindler with SampleServe. What we're going to do here today is we're going to demonstrate the Field App. Jake here is actually Jake's our product manager. He's going to act like he's collecting a sample in the field, and then he's going to finish the project, put everything in a cooler, pretend like he's shipping it out using the digital chain of custody to the laboratory, and then Asher is going to act like a laboratory, and then Asher is going to accept the samples with the laboratory app and then log them in using the app and the digital chain of custody. So Jake, go ahead and take it from here.
Okay, so at this point I've already went ahead and collected 3 samples just for the sake of time.
Yes.
And this field event comes down from the web app once the project manager has set everything up, so the field technician knows exactly what to do in the field. And I'm going to go ahead and collect some samples for MW5, which has a duplicate. And then on this screen, what you can do is you can take photos of the location, see where the location is at, the container summary, which will tell you the test, the containers, and the quantity that you need, and any well construction or any previously collected information. I'm going to hit start sampling. Here you can collect depth of water, depth of bottom, but we're just going to hit continue, and some other equipment setup, but we're just going to go and hit collect sample. I'm going to sign my name, just like I'm filling out with the paper labels. Take a selfie. And at this point, the Field app has captured the date, the time, and the GPS locations for MW5. I'm going to hit done. And now the mobile printer is printing out the label for MW5. And also, since it has a duplicate, it will print out a duplicate label.
I'm going to put these on for Jake while he's demonstrating the rest of it.
So at this point, since I've collected all the tasks here on this field event, I can go into the custody button here and actually start transferring the labels to the lab. So at this point, I'm going to select all of the sample IDs. I'm going to hit transfer custody. We give the user a couple of options. They can do a direct transfer and transfer directly to a person. They can drop it off at the lab or do a commercial delivery to FedEx or UPS. We're going to do a direct transfer. Asher is already selected as the default transfer to person. I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to sign my name. Take another selfie. Continue. And at this point, I'm going to print out a custody seal.
The custody seal is a little bit different. It doesn't have all the project. It has all the project information and how many coolers are associated with this particular chain of custody.
And what the field technician can also do is they can also share the COC ahead of time. So if you hit the share button here, it will pop up some other applications that you can do. You can share the chain of custody via email or some other applications, but we're just going to hit done here. And now my custody inbox is empty and everything's been transferred over to Asher.
Hello, I'm Asher and I work at CSI Labs. I'm going to show you how easy it is to use the Lab app to automate your login process. In front of me I have a cooler that Jake shipped to me. It has a custody seal on it. The Lab app has a convenient feature where I can just scan that custody seal. I just scan the QR code that's on the outside and it picks the custody transfer for this cooler. In here you can see list all the samples so I can verify the contents inside. It also has the chain of custody up until that point. So the first thing we'll probably do is accept the custody transfer. This is going to ask for a signature along with a photo. Flip this around. Press OK. There's my photo. And hit continue. And now I've accepted the transfer. It's uploading the photo to the cloud right now. Transfer of custody complete. And press done. And you notice down at the bottom there's a green check mark to indicate that I've completed that step. Each lab has a checklist that each lab gets to define. So I can press the checklist button. And now I can enter in any checklist items that are defined by your particular lab. So I can put in my pH of, let's say, 7 for water. Temperature, 44 degrees. And then yes, yes, no, or no. This checklist can be defined per media type per laboratory. And if you have multiple sites for your lab, if you're a large chain, then each lab can have its own checklist if they desire. Press save. There's a green check mark on the checklist to show that that's complete. And now I can scan the bottles. If the bottle's in the cooler, I can actually just scan these right in the cooler.
All bottles are scanned.
Now, I don't know if you heard, but the device, when it scans all the bottles, says all bottles are scanned to give you an audible confirmation that you've accounted for all the bottles that are in this chain of custody. If there's a problem with a bottle, you can come into an individual one and say if it was missing or broken. So say a container is broken, I can indicate that here. It has been received, but we also mark it as compromised. Or if a bottle isn't in the cooler for some reason, we can also mark that manually as completed. If a QR code on top of the container comes off for some reason, which is pretty rare, we can also manually receive bottles too. So I can now just say received, and I have all of my bottles accounted for. Once you're all done, we can press the complete. This shows that the check-in process is all done. You've completed all your steps. You have green check marks everywhere. At this point, I can share the information. I can share the chain of custody in a PDF and also in the data file, a JSON file, which is like a CSV file. I'm going to share both of these with Jake right now. When I press share, it comes up with a menu option to use whatever application you have on your device. It might be Mail, Slack, or Teams, whatever you might have. I'll use Mail. And I'm just going to go to, if I could spell it right, check it, SampleServe. And I press send. So what I've done, I've sent him 2 links. And when he opens it up, he will see the completed digital chain of custody along with the complete transfer history. And when I go back, we can see that's been completed, and here's the list. And you can go back in time to look at any completed transfer and see its details. See client information, project information, invoice information, shipping time, etc. And here I'll show you briefly that how we can look at the tests for each lab. There's an option up here for test definitions. Click into here. And here is a list of all the tests that your laboratory can offer to the customers. It's grouped by state, since many states have maybe different names or tests that are unique to them. And it's also by media type. So each media type can have a list of tests specific to it. This just really helps for the project manager when they're selecting their tests. It kind of gets pre-filtered for them. So you can come in and you see that we have the name, we have the testing method, and when the project manager, they see this exact same information and when they're scheduling their test, along with the bottle container and quantity and preservative information. It's pretty easy just to change this. So say I want to change BTEX. I can come in edit, and I can change my bottle quantities up here, change the containers, different states, and so on. Adding tests is pretty easy. Again, you just enter a name, new test, for example. And we have a list of methods pre-populated. If you need to, we can certainly add more methods. Bottle quantities, a list of common container types and combinations, along with preservatives, so or even no preservative. And then state and again media type. So, and that's it. Again, this is the exact same list that the project managers will see when they're scheduling their tests, which makes it pretty handy. And that's it. That's the lab app.
Great, so now Jake is gonna pull up that PDF and the JSON file of the completed chain of custody, and he'll show you what that looks like.
So at this point, I just opened up my email here. You can see there are two links, one for the PDF and one for the JSON file. I'm just going to click on the PDF from the link. Let's download it, and I'm just going to open it up. And you can see the information all right here for the chain of custody. You can see the 5 sample IDs that we sent to the lab and were received. You can also see the transfer history here, with myself relinquishing custody and then Asher at CSI Labs receiving it. And then we also have the JSON file that you can download and integrate into your LIMS system.
One of the other things I want to add to this whole system here is we are very close to finishing the development of Find My Bottle or Find a Bottle feature in the app. So if you're looking for a sample in amongst a bunch of samples for a lot of reasons, sometimes you have to retest. You want to find just that right one sample in a bunch of them. You actually pick that out from the app and be able to scan and find that using the augmented reality feature of the camera and the device. It'll actually point it out for you in a sea of QR codes. Then you can also continue to use this QR code throughout your laboratory process. We're happy to share that information. Each bottle is uniquely ID'd. So if you're doing 3 VOAs, each one has its own unique ID, and you'll be able to use that information throughout your laboratory process as you're moving from one room to another. You'll be able to use that QR code and the augmented reality to track those samples. Thank you.